Ireland, land of green hills and ancient stones, holds a deep magic. This magic whispers in the rustling leaves and shimmers in the moonlight on still waters. It is a magic woven into the very fabric of the land, a magic that speaks of fairies. These ethereal beings, mischievous and enchanting, are an integral part of Irish folklore, their presence felt in every shadow and sunbeam. But where did these tales of fairies originate? The answer, perhaps, lies in the mists of time, with the arrival of a mysterious race known as the Tuatha de Danann. Long ago, before the time of recorded history, Ireland was a land shrouded in mystery, a place where the veil between the known and the unknown was thin. It was during this enigmatic era, according to ancient Irish texts and legends passed down through generations, that the Tuatha de Danann, meaning people of the goddess Danu, arrived upon the shores of Ireland, bringing with them tales of wonder and magic. They came from islands to the north, lands that were themselves shrouded in mist and legend, places where the sun rarely broke through the clouds and the air was thick with mystery. Some say they arrived on magnificent ships, their sails billowing like dark clouds against the horizon, moving silently through the fog as if guided by an unseen hand. Others believe they came on the wind itself, their arrival as sudden and mysterious as a summer storm, appearing out of nowhere and changing the landscape forever. The Tuatha de Danann were not like the people already inhabiting the island. They were a race apart, beings of extraordinary abilities and knowledge. They were skilled in magic and warfare, possessing a deep connection to the land and its secrets, able to harness the natural forces in ways that seemed impossible to others. Their arrival marked a significant turning point in Irish mythology, for they brought with them not only their advanced knowledge and skills but also the seeds of enchantment and wonder that would forever shape the folklore and cultural heritage of Ireland, leaving an indelible mark on its history and its people. The Tuatha de Danann were renowned for their unparalleled skill in magic and sorcery. They could control the elements, summoning storms and calming seas at will. They had the ability to shapeshift into animals, taking on the forms of wolves, eagles, and other creatures of the wild. Their powers extended to influencing the minds of men, bending thoughts and wills to their desires. Their power was said to be so great that they could make themselves invisible to mortal eyes and move unseen through the world, slipping through shadows and mist. This ability to blend seamlessly with the natural world, disappearing and reappearing at will, would later become a defining characteristic of the fairies of Irish folklore, known for their elusive and enchanting presence. But the Tuatha de Danann were more than just formidable warriors and powerful sorcerers. They were also masterful artisans and craftsmen, their creations infused with both magic and beauty. Their skills in crafting were unmatched, producing weapons, tools, and artifacts of incredible power and elegance. They were said to have brought with them 4 sacred treasures, each with its own unique power and significance. These treasures included the Stone of Fal, which would cry out under the true King of Ireland, the Sword of Light, which could cut through any armor, the Spear of Lugh, which never missed its mark, and the Cauldron of Plenty, which provided an endless supply of food and sustenance. These treasures, each possessing unique powers, represented the might, wisdom, and abundance of the Tuatha de Danann, showcasing their unparalleled mastery in both magic and craftsmanship. The Stone of Fal, also known as the Lia Fale, was a magical stone that roared when touched by the rightful High King of Ireland. This stone, deeply embedded in the lore of the land, was not just a symbol of kingship, but also a beacon of the divine right to rule. It was believed that the stone's roar could be heard across the hills, echoing the approval of the gods. It was a symbol of sovereignty, and a testament to the Tuatha de Danann's connection to the land itself. The stone's presence on the sacred hill of Tara made it a focal point for ceremonies and rituals, reinforcing the bond between the rulers and the mystical forces of Ireland. The Sword of Light, wielded by the god Nuada, was said to be so sharp that it could cut through any armor and so bright that it could banish darkness with a single swing. This legendary weapon was not only a tool of war, but also a symbol of justice and purity, illuminating the path of righteousness for those who wielded it. The Spear of Lugh, named after the sun god Lugh, was a fearsome weapon that always found its mark, blazing with the power of the sun. This spear, imbued with the essence of the sun itself, was said to be unstoppable, striking fear into the hearts of enemies and bringing victory to its bearer. And the cauldron of plenty, a symbol of abundance and nourishment, ensured that the Tuatha de Danann never went hungry, providing an endless supply of food. This magical cauldron was more than just a source of sustenance. It represented the prosperity and generosity of the Tuatha de Danann, reflecting their ability to provide for their people in times of need. These treasures, imbued with the magic of the Tuatha de Danann, would later feature prominently in Irish mythology, their stories passed down through generations. Each artifact carried with it a piece of the Tuatha de Danann's legacy, weaving a rich tapestry of myth and legend that continues to captivate and inspire to this day. The reign of the Tuatha de Danann, however, was not destined to last. They were challenged by a new race, the Milesians, who arrived on the shores of Ireland seeking to claim the land for themselves. A fierce battle ensued, a clash of magic and might that shook the very foundations of the island. Though powerful, the Tuatha de Danann were ultimately defeated by the Milesians. Facing defeat, the Tuatha de Danann made a fateful decision. Instead of fighting to the bitter end, they chose to retreat into the Sidhe, ancient mounds and burial grounds scattered across the Irish landscape. These Sidhe were not merely hills and mounds. They were portals to the otherworld, a realm of magic and wonder that existed alongside the mortal realm. However, before their retreat into the Sidhe, the Tuatha de Danann faced other challenges, most notably the threat of the Fomorians. The Fomorians were a race of grotesque and monstrous beings who represented chaos and darkness. They dwelled in the depths of the sea and emerged from their watery abyss to wreak havoc upon the land. The battles between the Tuatha de Danann and the Fomorians were legendary, filled with magic, bloodshed, and heroic feats. One of the most famous of these conflicts was the Second Battle of Mag Tuiread, where the Tuatha de Danann, led by the god Lugh, faced off against the Fomorian king, Bela of the Evil Eye. The battle raged for days, a tumultuous clash of divine power and monstrous might. The arrival of the Milesians marked a turning point in the history of the Tuatha de Danann. The Milesians, claiming descent from Miles, Spain, a legendary figure in Irish mythology, were skilled warriors and navigators. They landed on the shores of Ireland, intent on claiming the land as their own. The Tuatha de Danann, weakened from their battles with the Fomorians, faced a new and formidable foe. The battles between the Tuatha de Danann and the Milesians were fierce and bloody, a clash of two cultures vying for dominance. Despite their magical prowess, the Tuatha de Danann were ultimately defeated, their reign over Ireland coming to an end. It was then that they chose to retreat into the Sidhe, leaving the surface world to the Milesians. A pact with the land. In their retreat, the Tuatha de Danann did not simply disappear. Instead, they made a pact with the land itself, becoming the guardians of its ancient magic and wisdom. They promised to protect Ireland from harm and to guide its people, albeit from the shadows. And so, the Tuatha de Danann transitioned from powerful rulers to the hidden folk of the hills, the fairy folk of Irish folklore. Their magic, once a force to be reckoned with, became subtler, more aligned with the rhythms of nature. They became associated with the natural world, their presence felt in the rustling leaves, the babbling brooks, and the whispering wind. Guardians of ancient knowledge. Within the Sidhe, the Tuatha de Danann continued to practice their magic and hone their skills. They became the keepers of ancient knowledge, their realms filled with music, poetry, and wisdom. Those mortals who were fortunate enough to stumble upon a seed might catch a glimpse of the fairy revels, hear the strains of enchanting music, or even be invited to partake in their feasts. But the fairy folk were not to be trifled with. They were known for their capricious nature, their moods shifting as quickly as the Irish weather. They could be benevolent and helpful, offering gifts and blessings to those who pleased them. But they could also be vengeful and dangerous, punishing those who dared to disrespect them or their domain. Whispers of the Otherworld. Over time, the line between the Tuatha de Danann and the fairies of Irish folklore blurred. They became one and the same in the minds of the people, their stories intertwined and passed down through generations. The Sidhe, once places of power and mystery, became synonymous with fairy mounds, their entrances carefully guarded and rarely revealed to mortal eyes. The belief in fairies persisted in Ireland, woven into the fabric of everyday life. Farmers left offerings of milk and honey to appease the fairy folk and ensure a bountiful harvest. Mothers warned their children not to disturb fairy rings or pick flowers from fairy thorns. The enduring legacy of the Tuatha de Danann. The legacy of the Tuatha de Danann lives on in Ireland, not just in the numerous fairy forts and ancient ruins that dot the landscape, but also in the rich tapestry of Irish folklore. Their stories, passed down through generations, continue to capture the imagination, reminding us of a time when magic and wonder were an integral part of life. The Tuatha de Danann may have retreated into the Sidhe, but their presence continues to be felt in Ireland, a whisper of magic in the wind, a glimmer of enchantment in the moonlight. Their story serves as a reminder that even in the face of defeat, magic and wonder can endure, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by those who know where to look. If you enjoyed this journey into the mystical origins of Irish fairies, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more enchanting tales.